Welcome to Kindred Spirits. I'm your host, Christy Brower, and you are listening live right here on Marvelous Mondays on 12radio.com. Welcome to the show. I'm excited to be here with you. I missed you last week. It's nice to be back and be back live. I have this weird thing going on. So I am doing Facebook Live in the chat room like I always do. But for the first time, instead of using a phone, I'm doing it on my Chromebook. So Facebook Live is now available in your regular browsers as well as on your app. So I'm doing it in two places. But what's really weird, because I always do it on my fan page and then here in the Winter Radio chat room too. But on my Chromebook, my image is reversed. And on my phone, it isn't. So I have this really sort of surreal experience going on right now where I'm looking at myself in two like mirror images of each other videos. So it's kind of freaking me out. So if I do something weird or touch my hair and it turns out to be that I'm touching the wrong side of my hair, that's why, because everything feels backwards. I don't know, it's really strange, but I hope it looks okay in the chat room. So please join me there by going to 12radio.com and clicking on chat. You will find me in the chat room in two different ways. So I'm there in Facebook Live, so you can choose the video if you want to watch the show, and you can listen to the audio there. Or if you're just listening on the player, that's fine too, but don't do both because there's a delay, and so they sound sort of weird. But if you're going to ask a question or make a request of a reading, please do that on the banner that's pinned at the top of the page that my producer Scott put up, because the comments on the video sort of roll up and I lose them over time. But I'm excited to be here with all of you. I have a lot to talk to you about today. I've really had a lot rolling around in my head lately. Some interesting things that are going on in the world, in the metaphysical world, in everywhere, that's really got me thinking about a lot of things. And so that's sort of what brings me to the, I would say, two-pronged topic today, because I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. I will have time for readings at the end of the show, so please be sure to post your questions or requests for readings in the chat room, and I will get to you. Somebody says the video is just smaller now. Interesting. Oh, someone else said, turn your phone sideways. It makes the picture bigger. Well, thank you. Tech support provided by the 12 Radio chat room. I appreciate that. I wanted to get first to my article in the Power Peak, which actually has aired 2 weeks in a row because I was out of town this weekend. But this was something I really wanted to talk with you about, and I missed you last week. And that is that I had a really defining moment week before last. One of those moments that really makes you think about your life and about yourself. So we were in court, which seems like a weird place to be, and it was. It always feels like a weird thing for me. But we were in court because my son has a disability, and because of that, we are his legal guardians. We were granted legal guardianship of him when he was 18 years old, and we had to go back at 21 to renew guardianship, which, was kind of stressful because it is certainly something that we wanted to renew that was important to us, but, that is a little controversial for him and is challenging, just challenging altogether in a lot of ways. It was really, really important that we be granted guardianship of him. We need that. He needs that in order to keep him safe. But, there's always that worry of, well, what if they say no? What if they don't give us what we need? And so I had spent a lot of time writing letters to the attorneys and the judge and, doing all of the stuff that we have to do to basically prove the need for guardianship and our fitness as guardians, that we're doing a good job. And no matter what I do as a mom, I'm always hard on myself. No matter what I do, I always feel like I could do better. I could do more. There could be more, right? And so I went into this hearing feeling nervous, being hard on myself, feeling like, well, maybe we haven't done enough, or, really kind of pressuring myself a lot. And the hearing was very brief. And I made a verbal statement to the judge that Rhonda agreed to, and both attorneys recommended to the judge that we be granted permanent guardianship of our son. And the judge, not only did he grant us permanent guardianship of our son, but he looked at Rhonda and I and he said that, I want to commend you for the work that you're doing with your son. You're doing a great job. What you're doing is much needed. You're very appreciated for what you're doing, and and thank you. And it was a weird moment for me because it was like, whoa, okay, why am I being so hard on myself? I needed that judge to look me in the eye and say, you're doing a good job. You're doing this right. You deserve appreciation for what you're doing, and what you're doing is a good thing. That I needed to hear it. It was strange to hear it from a judge, from a stranger, really, for me to think about it and go, wow, why am I so hard on myself? Why do I constantly push myself for more and better? Why isn't it okay to just accept me for me and for the stuff that I've already done and recognize that what I'm doing is good enough? And that's what brought me to today's show topic, because I had a real kind of epiphany in that moment that, I do this to myself, and I think that many of you do as well. And so I thought we should talk a little bit about this particular issue. So I would love to hear what you have to say in the chat room. But I just want you to think about for a minute. I want you to think about everything that you have accomplished in your life. Let's go back a year and think about the things that you have done in the last year in your life that may just feel like everyday normal stuff. Maybe it's you paid your bills for a year. Maybe it's you kept your job for a year. Maybe it's that you lost your job and found a new one. Or maybe you lost your job and you're working really hard at finding a new one. Maybe it's that you got a divorce. Or maybe it's that your marriage has survived another year. Maybe it's that you've kept your teenagers alive for a year, because I know what an accomplishment that is. Maybe it's that you have taken good care of yourself, or that you're constantly striving to take good care of yourself. That even when you have a day where you eat the donut, the next day you eat the salad, right? Because you're always working on making things better in your life. And no matter how hard you are to yourself, how hard you are on yourself, you're not really, it's not like you're doing a bad job, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You're not starting out doing a bad job. And so no matter how hard you push yourself, you're just pushing yourself to be good at what you're already good at in a lot of ways. This gets really dicey, I think, for us in the metaphysical community. Because metaphysics is really rooted in self-help, isn't it? It's really rooted in, spiritual growth and constantly growing and changing and developing new things in your life and learning new things and pressuring yourself into, well, I'm not good enough at this, or I'm not good enough at that, or I'm not meditating for an hour twice a day, or, I'm not talking to my guides every single minute, or, whatever it is. There are things like that can create so much pressure for you that you never sit back and look at the things that you have accomplished, the things that you are doing right now. What if you stopped growing for just a minute? It doesn't mean forever, because I would never ever advocate for that. But what if you just stopped growing for a minute? I want you to think about the flowers in your yard if you have some. When they bloom, it's because they're not growing, isn't it? They stop growing for a little while and they bloom. So it's almost like they stop their growth, and that bloom is the appreciation or the gratitude for the growth that they've made. Do you ever think of it that way? And now they don't stop growing, right? Because the bloom eventually will fade. They'll grow some more. Maybe they'll bloom again, or they'll bloom again next year. So it's not a permanent stop, but it is a periodic break to stop and appreciate the growth that you have already had. That's when you bloom. That's when you just get to sit back and be you and be okay with where you are right now. This is so important for us. It's so important for all of humanity. But I think for those of us in the metaphysical community, in the spiritual community, the New Age community, whatever you consider yourself, the constant striving does not give us any chance to stop and just appreciate who we've become, how far we've come, the changes that we've already made, the things we've already learned. To give us time to simply integrate those things into our lives. You know, there was a period of time in my life where I read every New Age book I could get my hands on. And then I stopped because I realized that all I was doing was reading. All I was doing was taking in knowledge, but I wasn't applying knowledge because I was just striving for more and more and more. I didn't stop to apply what I had learned. And so I have a lot different philosophy about that now. I don't read metaphysical books all the time. I only read one here or there that specifically speaks to me. And I only do it if I feel like then I'm going to have the time to integrate that knowledge into my life, to really use it and practice with it. Okay, we're going to come back to more of this, but I would like to take us to a meditation first. So, Scott, if you would just cue us up some meditation music. And we're going to do Divine Spark. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Allow your body to settle and your mind to go quiet. Follow me on a journey to find the divine spark in you. Come with me as we walk down a wooded path. Feel the cool air on your face and hear the pine needles crunch softly under your feet. Ahead, you see a clearing. And standing in the clearing is a beautiful gilded mirror. Approach the mirror, stand in front of it, and take in the picture before you. There you stand, the divine you. See the flame of your heart light flicker in the breeze. Now see the beautiful colors of your aura as they move and swirl around you. Notice the powerful red cord of energy that connects you to the earth. And note the silver thread that connects you to the divine. And then take in the real you, the one that is the divine, the one that is infinite, the one that will live on beyond this lifetime. Take a moment to memorize this image. You will need it to give you strength when you feel weak and disconnected. Remember that this is who you really are. And when you're ready, join me as we walk back up the path. breathing in the scent of the trees and feeling the sun on your face. And now take 3 deep breaths. And open your eyes. Okay. I think sometimes we need to do that meditation in order to remember who we really are. We get so mixed up in this life, in this world, believe me, I do too, that sometimes I forget who I really am. And I have to get reconnected to that. And that experience in court, thank you very much to that judge, helped me to do that. The Divine Spark meditation always helps me to do that too. I feel like sometimes I just need it to reconnect me to myself, to remind me this is who I am. I am not the constant need to improve and get better. I can recognize the divine in who I am right now in this very moment. Now, Christy in the chat said, moms being hard on themselves is in the fine print of the contract we didn't read. Right? The contract we didn't read or sign. But we signed up for it, didn't we? We surely did. Let's see, I wanted to check the chat room. Donna says, trying is so tiring. It is. Trying is very tiring. And so we do have to take breaks. We have to sit back. We have to sit back and bloom sometimes, and that's okay. Judith says, true. No end to self-improvement. Perhaps that is why animals are so beneficial. Animals in nature just are natural as is, in the moment, all zen with no self-improvement course. Yeah. You know, that's so true. That is so true. They just are who they are. And there's no need in them to constantly change and improve, right? They don't have that pressure. I think they're kind of lucky. Thinking about my 2 little dogs that are currently laying on my couch, wrapped up in their favorite blankies because it's cold and raining today. And, you know, they don't seem to feel the need to have to go improve themselves in a whole bunch of ways. They're just them. They are just themselves, who they really are. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to think of it, Judith. Thank you for that. Okay, I want to share the stone of the week, and then I want to get to sort of the secondary part of this topic today. I'm going to share something in the chat. Right now, I wanted to talk about green calcite today. Let's see, I'm going to post this. This is so interesting to be using the same device that I'm also videoing from. I couldn't do that before. So this is a whole new world. Somebody in the chat, I thought that was really funny, said that host in new orphan black imaging, right? It is sort of like that, isn't it? It's kind of strange, but I don't know. I like it too. Okay, so green calcite. Green calcite eases anxiety, it improves mood, and supports a sense of peace. That's because green calcite is very much a self-love stone. And so I think it's a stone we need today when we're thinking about not pushing ourselves too hard, not constantly striving and trying for improvement, but accepting who we are, sitting back and taking the time to appreciate where we've been and how far we've come, right? Green calcite is a good stone to help us do that. So I'm going to hold up, sorry, I'm on the wrong page. I got to make sure you can see this. I'm going to hold up, this is a piece of green calcite. This is my favorite piece of green calcite. I wish you could see it. I don't think you can in the video. But there are these, there's this chevron pattern to the way that the fracture pattern in this particular piece of green calcite that's just really beautiful. I love it. So green calcite is a very soothing stone. You know, one of the things that I feel like happens with that constant striving is anxiety. We get anxious about not being good enough, haven't done enough, haven't grown enough, or developed enough or given enough, right? And sometimes we need to calm that sense of anxiety. Green calcite is a great stone for that. I love to meditate with green calcite in my heart and let it help me to settle that anxiety that maybe I haven't done enough, when in reality I've probably done too much. It's kind of how it really is. But green calcite really does help to calm that energy, calm that fear and anxiety that comes up. So get yourself some green calcite this week. This is a very easy to get, inexpensive stone. You'll find it everywhere. Calcite comes in lots of different colors. I love the very gentle energy of calcite. Calcite is a powerful healing stone, but it is a gentle giant in the healing world when it comes to stones. Some stones will smack you right in the face with, pretty challenging stuff. Calcite is more through the back door kind of healing. And sometimes we really need that, not so much intensity. And so that's what green calcite can do for us. So get yourself a piece of that. Spend some time meditating with it. Carry it in your pocket with you. Sleep with it. Calcite's a great stone to sleep with, to work on issues in your sleep. So think of green calcite in those ways to help you this week. Okay, so the other issue that I wanted to address, I read something recently that was written by a well-known spiritual teacher. I'm not going to say who, but I was very troubled by this. And so I just want to counter it. I'm not going to say who said it because I don't think it matters. But this person was asked, where does dark energy come from? And the answer that they gave is that dark energy comes from our negative thoughts and mood, being in a bad mood, and negative emotions. And I was really, really bothered by that statement. And so as an aura reader, as an expert in all things energy, and also as an expert in dark energies and dark entity attachments and various kinds of dark energy, I want to give maybe a counter definition and maybe get a little bit more specific. So energy vibrates at lots of different rates. We know that, right? There's sort of a continuum of energy, and the higher we vibrate, the better we are in lots of ways. We're healthier physically, we're healthier emotionally, we feel more connected, we experience things from the divine. We get messages from our guides and angels. Different things come through for us when we vibrate higher. Some thoughts and emotions vibrate lower, and so they may be a lower vibration of energy. They are, however, not dark energy. There's a big difference. So we do not create dark energy as humans. We can't. We're light bodies. We are made of light. Everything that we do is light. Everything that we do is done with an intention behind it, that even when you see someone else do something bad, they may not in fact have a bad intention. What they feel is right is what they do, right? And I'm not saying that no one ever does anything bad. That's not true. But we don't create dark energy. I want to be really clear about that. It's okay to feel however you feel. It's okay to have whatever thoughts you have. You can be angry and pissed off and sad and frustrated and irritated. That's just part of being a human being. Our emotions exist. They just are. We cannot control having them. We control what we do with them. We control how we react to them. We control how we use them, right? We do control all of that. However, having them in the first place, we don't really control. They do just happen to us. Have you ever been really shocked about being really angry about something you didn't expect to be angry about? Or really hurt about something that you did not expect to be hurt about? I'll give you an example. So I left my religion of birth a really long time ago, 20 plus years ago, right? And so I have not really cared what went on I haven't really paid attention to what was going on in that religion because it wasn't my religion. And so to me, I felt like I'm totally disconnected from this. This doesn't mean anything to me. And then about 18 months ago, they came out with a policy that was specifically targeting the LGBT community and LGBT families, particularly the children of LGBT parents and those who were legally married in the LGBT community. Now that, of course, is me, that I'm married to my wife, Rhonda. We have our son, Mike. And I was stunned at my anger and hurt and grief over that experience. I did not expect to feel that way at all. I truly expected to feel completely different from that. I really did. And so I expected to not care. I mean, I read about it, I saw things about it, and I really expected that I just wouldn't care, right? Well, that wasn't true. I actually really did. And it shocked me that I cared. I ended up officially resigning from that religion, which I hadn't done. I just figured, well, I know where I'm at in my own heart. It doesn't really matter. Well, when that happened, it did really matter. And I did tell them to go fly a kite. But it surprised me. My emotions surprised me. And that's my point in telling you that story, is that we don't always know how we're going to feel about something. We don't always have control over that. What we do with it, we have control over. Now, negative thoughts. Okay, we all have them, right? We all have them. And we're all working on not having them, right? We're all working on that. It doesn't mean that we're ever going to have a period of time where we don't have them at all. I really don't think that that's the case. That's another part of being human, right? Sometimes we need to have a negative thought in order to work through something, understand where we're coming from, understand our feelings in order to solve a problem. So does it mean that we're creating dark energy when we have a negative thought? No, it does not. It doesn't at all. Don't let anybody tell you that if you feel anything other than just peace and love and light, that there's something wrong with you. That's bullshit, okay? It is. It's utter bullshit. And it makes me so angry to see anybody who is considered a revered teacher say that to people. That is incredibly damaging to say to you and to me and to people who really believe in and love and follow this person. It makes me angry beyond belief because that is so damaging. That makes you look at yourself and go, there's something really wrong with me, because no matter what I do, I still get angry and I still think negative thoughts and I still get pissed off sometimes. So I'm really not making it on my spiritual path. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're very much making it on your spiritual path. And that person that's teaching those things also gets angry, also gets frustrated, also has negative thoughts, because we all do. All of us, every single one of us, every human being on this planet, no matter how enlightened you are, no matter how connected you are to the divine, no matter where you're at in your own spirituality, you still have those feelings. You still get angry and frustrated and sad and guilty, and we all have those feelings. Every single one of us. Don't let anybody tell you that they don't and that there's something wrong with you if you do. That's not fair. And that is a big part of why we are so hard on ourselves, is because there's some illusion out there that there are teachers in this world, that there are ascended beings who are living in human bodies who have ascended beyond the human emotion. No, they haven't. That is not true. Now, working to control your reactions and choosing to shift your thinking when you fall into negativity can certainly change the way that you experience your emotions, and it can change the way that you experience your thoughts. It can, and we can improve those things. We know that we can. We know that we can improve those things. However, Never will they go away completely. And that's okay. You are okay exactly as you are. And having those emotions, getting pissed off when somebody pulls out in front of you in traffic, or having a negative thought about money or your mother-in-law, does not mean that you are not moving forward on your spiritual path. Does not mean that you aren't a connected, loving person. You are. And it's okay to have all of those emotions. Now, I want to talk about dark energy for just a minute, because I want to be clear about what that is. I'm not talking about low vibrating energy that we sometimes develop from, going through some difficult things. And sometimes our vibrations get low and we need some help to clear our energy bodies, right? Okay, that happens to us. Dark energy. Dark energy is usually in the form of some kind of entity that is a parasite. Dark energy is a parasite on light bodies. That's us. There are dark entities that can attach to us, and then they use our energy to grow and get bigger and stronger, and then, sometimes they do things that are not so nice to us humans. That is not the same thing. We did not create those things. We cannot create those things. Now, I want to be clear that those things are simply parasites that can be cleared. They are not permanent. They do not mean that you are dark or evil or bad if you have one connected to you. It means that in a vulnerable moment, a parasite got a hold of you. Have you ever had a leech? It's kind of like that, only in the energy body, right? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like one time I got a hookworm in my foot. I was camping at Bear Lake, which has a huge beach. And apparently, while walking around in the sand barefoot, I got a hookworm. That hookworm was a parasite. Did I do anything bad to make that parasite feed off from me? No, I didn't. I was at a family reunion, having fun, playing in the sand, right? Did I deserve that? Am I bad or evil for getting that parasite? No. No, I'm not. And could that parasite be removed? Because it's not a part of me. It can be separated from my body, right? Yeah, it could. I had to go to the doctor. I had to embarrassingly take a pill called Vermox for 3 days. And because of that, my family said that I went to the vet. Anyway, but the bottom line is that it is a parasite. It can get attached to any of us. We're all vulnerable at one time or another for various reasons. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing because the show isn't really about dark entities. But I wanted to get clear about this because I read this and I was really troubled. And I don't know, some of you may know what I'm talking about. And even if you don't, I think it's just important because I want you to understand that getting pissed off and having a frustrated thought here and there and even having a strong reaction or telling somebody off does not mean you're creating dark energy, okay? It doesn't. You're still a light body. You are still that spark of divine. Remember the meditation, we saw it in our hearts. That's still in you, no matter what your emotions are, no matter what your thoughts are. That's in you. That was in you from the day you were born. It's been in you your entire life, and it will still be with you after you go from this body. And there is nothing that you can do to change that. You can't lose that. That's just who you are. So I just wanted to clarify that because I was troubled by the damage that a statement like that can do. If you're a person who's really struggling right now with maybe you're having some strong emotions and you just feel like, man, I'm just angry all the time and I get upset really easily. And, there are things we can work on, obviously, to help with that. But does that mean that you're turning into a bad person? No, it doesn't. And we don't need destructive statements like that made to people who are working so hard on themselves because it makes us feel like no matter what we do, we can't ever get there, right? We can't ever be that perfect. Well, no, we're not. We're never going to be perfect, and that's okay. Because we're all just who we are, and who we are is perfect. We don't have to change anything unless we want to. But your emotions, how you feel about things are real, and they matter, and every single one of those emotions is okay. Doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you're creating dark energy. No, it doesn't. There is a huge difference between low vibrating energy that can always be changed to high vibrating energy and to dark energy. Dark energy is something of its own, has nothing to do with who we are. Dark energy is completely separate from us, completely separate from our energy bodies. It can be attached to us, but it can also be removed. Okay? So I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you for allowing me to get right up on my soapbox and talk about that. But sometimes I hear things that bother me. I don't ever want the work that we're doing in the metaphysical community to become destructive. I've seen plenty of work in religions and in other kinds of spirituality that are destructive, that hurt us, that make us feel hopeless, like no matter what we do, we're never going to be good enough. And I feel like I always want to be a voice of reason to counter that. Because it's not fair. No matter how hard you work, you'll never be good enough. Give me a break. Right? We're all good enough just as we are right now. Okay? Thank you very much. Let's see. I want to see. I know some of you have something to say, and I just wanted to share that with you. Oh, Brittany says, one of my favorite mom quotes is, behind every great kid is a mom who is pretty sure she's screwing it up. Yeah, there you go. Eva says, we forget to enjoy life and have fun. There is effortless perfection in the universe. There is. It's okay to just go out and have a good time, right? And to enjoy your life, to allow yourself to bloom. Yeah. Well, Chris is saying that she's got some of her astrology having a moon Chiron opposition on the midheaven something axis. Sorry, Chris, I'm not an astrologer. I never feel like I can do enough at work or home. Okay, well, I think we all know how that feels, right? Let's see, Kevin said, I have always said this to myself. Do you really think Jesus might have not gotten the least bit pissed off, negative, ordinary throughout his existence? Right, of course he did. Everybody did. Buddha probably did too, right? I mean, all those ascended masters had physical lifetimes. They had physical experiences. They had the experience of, leaning over to pick up something that got knocked off the counter and smacking your head on the edge of the counter, right? We've all been there, haven't we? Terry says, I just love you. You give us permission to doubt ourselves, and it's okay. It is. It is completely okay. Liliana says, thank you for the reminder. Working for positive thoughts. However, sometimes people or things piss you off. Right. So it's something that we are always working towards, something we are always striving for if we want to be. And sometimes it's okay to sit back and not worry about it so much. But if it's something that you're practicing, that's okay. But you know what? If every once in a while you still get pissed, that's okay. We all do. Validate your emotions, feel them, express them, and move on. That's all we can do. That's what we have control over. So thank you very much for allowing me this conversation and for being a part of it. Give me 1 second. I need to take a little drink. Okay. Now, I know I've got some questions. I do want to do some readings in the chat. So I'm going to give you a chance to post some more of those if you would like to. And while we're doing that, I want to share a couple of things with you. You probably have heard, but I want to remind you that tonight is the very first installment of Psychic Sisters Spirit School. So this is a series of classes that my sister Katie Weaver and I are going to teach together. It dawned on us a while back that, we used to own a metaphysical store and spiritual center. And while we were, doing that, we co-taught a ton of classes, all different kinds of metaphysical and New Age topics. And we realized that, we're really kind of missing the boat now that we're not teaching those things together at our center anymore because we sold it, that we should be teaching together at 1-2 Academy. So our first class in Psychic Sister Spirit School is Spiritual Protection. So this class was actually requested by someone that was interested in being able to, protect themselves against psychic attack and needing some different tools and skills for spiritual protection. And so we're going to hit it from several different angles. We're going to talk about some an archangel protection. We're going to talk about a goddess protection. We're going to talk about using stones, and then just some visualizations, some using your thoughts to control your energy body in order to protect yourself. So that's tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific over at 12academy.com. It's going to be a great class. I'm really looking forward to it. And then we have many more coming. So we're going to teach Psychic Sisters Spirit School once a month. And we're going to choose a metaphysical topic every month to expound on. And it's going to be fun because you get the two of us. And we've had a lot of experiences together. We've done a lot of work together. And so we have many opportunities to share that with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to share along with that, you've heard about the duet readings that are going on over at 1-2-Listen. And so this is a reading where you get two of us basically for the price of one. And so Katie and I are doing a duet reading. It is a 30-minute TBS. And so it's a 30-minute session where we will hit whatever problem you are struggling with or whatever issue you would like us to look at. We will look at it from multiple angles. You've heard us do it on the Psychic Sisters for many years. And so we will look at your situation from multiple angles and you will get two perspectives. So Katie and I have different skill sets. We do things a little bit differently when we read. Katie is a medium. I am an aura reader. And so we do, plus lots and lots of other things. And so we look at things from different angles. So we want to share that with you. We do have a very special price on that. So we were allowed to drop it down to a price we felt we were comfortable with. And so it is now over there at 1-2-Listen. You can find it either in my advisor profile or in Katie's. And I've also posted it in the chat. But it's a great opportunity to get a double dose of us to look at whatever you're struggling with from multiple angles. So I'm just excited to share those things with you. Okay, so I want to get to a few questions. So just so you guys know, if you're posting reading requests in the video, I'm losing them. I cannot get back to them. So I obviously went to click on one and it's gone. So please post those on the pinned post at the top of the page so that I can get to your questions, because I would like to be sure to do that. So let me refresh my page so that I can get there with you. I hope you enjoyed 1-2 News today. We did do 1-2 News this morning. We're just having so much fun with that show. It's been really a lot of fun to think of radio in a little bit different way, like a morning news show is a lot different than the kind of radio we've done before. So I think that that's been a lot of fun. So if you haven't heard that, that's at 8 a.m. here on 1-2 Radio on Mondays. You want to check that out. Okay, Liliana says, I would like a clearing and prayers for my second interview I will be having this week on the job I really love. Oh, Liliana, that's so exciting. Okay, let's see. So I'm just going to ask everybody in the listening audience today to please put some good energy behind this interview for Liliana. Let's all as a group join together, sending some powerful energy to you. I feel like, Liliana, the thing that I want to do is just clear up a little self-doubt that I feel in your solar plexus and just really help you to shine bright so that those interviewers see you for who you really are. Sometimes we sort of cloak ourselves and cover ourselves for job interviews, and then we don't really shine our light, and then the interviewer doesn't feel that energy from you that they need to feel in order to want to hire you. This is something really important to remember about job interviews. Job interviews are only a little tiny bit about what you say. They're a huge amount about how you feel. I used to be a manager when I was in social work, and if I didn't like the feel of somebody, I did not hire them. So I think that's really important to remember. You should always balance yourself and be open. You don't want to close yourself down for an interview, and we do that when we're nervous. We sort of shut the door on ourselves. You want to open the door. so that they can really feel who you are. Because if they feel like they have a good connection with you, they are more likely to hire you, even if you are not the person that's the best qualified, even if you don't even have, all the skills they're looking for. If they feel like they have a good connection with you, then they will feel like they can work with you to help you to learn what you need to learn. So that's an important part of it. So Liliana, I cleared that up in your solar plexus, but remember that, okay? Sandy says, hi, Christy. Any guidance on my job search, please? I hope I am back to working soon. Yeah, okay. Sandy, I think you've been off work for a little while. I do feel like you'll have a job fairly soon, but I want to say this. I feel like there's a reason why you're not working right now. That is a good reason. It is a reason that is about you being able to take care of some things in your life. You being able to take care of you. You have an opportunity right now that is really important for you to realize. So if you haven't already, please take some time to explore why you have this time off. What is it that you need to take care of in your life right now that you've been given the time to take care of? The reason that I say that, it's twofold. One is that that's an important thing for you to realize, but I think it's important for you to do it, whatever the thing is that you need to take care of, in order for you to find another job. So you have to resolve whatever it is that the universe said, Sandy needs some time to take care of this issue. Here, we're going to give her some. Make sure you've done that, okay? And make sure that you spend some time really. I feel like if you really do a little searching in yourself, you're going to know what the answer to this question is. Make sure that you have resolved it, because I feel like there's this little wall of resistance when it comes to finding another job. And the resistance is from the need to take care of this particular issue for yourself. Okay? So figure it out and take care of it. And that's when the job will come forward. Thank you very much for that question. Let's see. Oh, Geraldine says she read what I'm talking about. And she was curious to know what I would have to say. So interesting. Yeah, I don't want to use people's names because I don't feel like that's fair, because they can't respond. However, if I do see something that I feel like, wow, I got to counter that, because that has not been my experience at all. I feel a very strong draw to do just that, to get out there what I see, because there are multiple perspectives. And I want you to know that I'm not mad if you don't believe everything I say, or if it doesn't all resonate with you, and you take what does and let the rest go. Because that's what I do too, and that's all right. But I do always feel like it's important, because I'm a teacher. I want to share with you how I see things, so that there's reference points, so that you can look at things from multiple sides and recognize what really works for me, not what really hurts me or makes me feel guilty, okay? The purpose is for things to help you to feel good about yourself, to make your life better, to push yourself into positive spaces, not to put yourself down. So that's why I bring that up. So thank you, Geraldine. Terry says, can you do a body scan on me today? I'm feeling way off. You betcha. Terry, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, your root chakra is shifted way off to your left. No wonder you feel way off. Your energy body is in a zigzag pattern instead of in a spiral. And that's because your root is pulled way off to the left. So I'm just going to pull it back into place. Terry, we're going to just stabilize that. Things happen in our lives, various changes that have to do with stability and security that can cause that. And so sometimes you just need some help to pull your root back into place and stabilize it. And then we're just going to balance those chakras. So I'm going to send your root cords down to the center of the earth, to the goddess Gaia, and we're going to ask her to grab hold of your roots, of those root cords. We're going to draw that life force energy all the way up through the bottoms of your feet and let it settle in your root. And then we're going to draw that energy all the way up through all of your chakras and out the crown of your head. And as we do that, everything lines up through the midline of your body, which is exactly where it should be. So Terry, that ought to feel a whole lot better. Thank you for the question and for being here. Kelly has a question. If you have a dream you are being attacked by something you can't see, can that be a spiritual parasite? I had a dream like that just recently that left me so full of fear that I felt the effects of the dream when I woke up. Okay, Kelly, yes, it can be. It can also be that you are feeling that you are being undermined at work, that you are feeling like someone is talking behind your back or spreading rumors about you. So it can be something that people may be doing that are affecting you, because that's also something you can't see. Or it could be that you have some kind of a spiritual parasite. That both are possible. So I would recommend that you give me a call at 12Listen and we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. There are some other questions I would want to ask you and really take a good look at your energy body. And I only have 3 minutes, so I can't do that right now to know for sure. But if you give me a call over at 12Listen, I'm sure that we can figure it out. But that is definitely something that can cause that. So thank you for that question. That's a really good one. I'll bet you that's one that resonates with several people listening. Sandy says, thanks, Christy. Makes sense. For me, it's a time of rest as I left an old job, which was a nightmare. I'll think about it and try to figure out if there's something else. Good, Sandy. Please do, because I do feel like there's something that you have to resolve before that little wall will just fall away. When you really resolve that, so you have done what you need to take care of for you. And so I'm glad that you are aware that that's part of what this time is about. So thank you very much for that. Oh, let's see. Mary Chris, may I please have a body scan? Feeling energy feels all over the place and drained. Oh boy, you have what I call tornado energy body. So this is pretty similar to what Terry had. So root is shifted, and because your root is shifted, you're not passing life force energy all the way through your energy body the way that you should. And so your upper chakras are really big and they're full of stagnant energy. It's all the energy that should be clearing out the crown of your head, but isn't, because your root is shifted and sort of pinched off, so you're not drawing enough life force energy. So that makes you feel really scattered. It makes you feel tired and depressed and like your brain never shuts up. So let's just shift your root back into place. And we're going to drop those root cords down to the center of the earth. And we're going to draw that life force energy all the way up through your root. And now we're going to draw that root chakra energy all the way up through your energy body. And as it gets up into your heart, you're going to feel some pressure in your upper chakras. And that's just that stagnant energy that we're going to clear. So we're going to pull that energy up into your throat. Remember, with it, we're pushing up all of that stagnant energy that needs to be released up into your third eye. And now we're going to open your crown wide, and we're going to release all of that energy out the crown of your head. And so now that cycle of energy, that energy breathing cycle, has been renewed in your energy body. So you're drawing in life force energy, breathing in new life force energy, and out the crown of your head, breathing out the old life force energy. So Mary Chris, if you don't have my energy breathing meditation, go get it on my website, ChristyBrower.com. It's a free download. It helps to renew that very energy system that we just did. So it will help to keep that balanced. Well, guys, I'm out of time. I want to say thank you so much for being here. It's been so nice to be with all of you today. I really, really appreciate that. Please stay tuned. We have lots of great programming coming up next. We have Velva Dawn, and we have Kathleen Peterson, and we have Brittany Opplinger, who is guest hosting for Alita today. So stay tuned, and don't forget about our class, Psychic Sister Spirit School, Spiritual Protection, at 12academy.com tonight at 7 p.m. And as always, thanks for listening to 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.